Greetings, I'm Michael Banks, shout writer, and today we'll be covering the first contact day event TFO comparison. Well, let's have rock and roll. Right, so this is a comparison. This is the first contact day event. Status Line has a rotating set of TFOs which will unlock brand new gear or a brand new ship over a period of 2 or 3 weeks. TFOs are considered endgame content for Status Line and has been previously described as raids in other MMOs, but it's way shorter today. The featured TFOs are often set to the easiest setting as where possible. In a few cases, it's not. It's not. Because this is set on the easiest setting as possible, the most fair conditions are disabled. I will point out that there are some event variants of some TFOs which has been used in the past. To earn ship or gear, you need to play at least one of the featured TFOs per day, and you can actually also effectively buy out the progress and get the ship or the item for a lot earlier or faster, depending on how late you've started. With either Zen or low, this will be dependent on the actual TFO. Both are considered premium currencies. Zen is a premium currency, as it's roughly $1 per 200 Zen. Low Bs can only be obtained indirectly from Zen. With 2026's first contact day event, the prize is the Tier 6 Noble Intel Battlecruiser, which is built on the Sovereign base. I'll cover that a bit more later. So what am I comparing? Yeah, I'll be comparing the structure and difficulty of each and the time for each TFO. Each of these TFOs will be done on normal or, in a few rare cases, the event version. I will also note that some TFOs will have a defending NPC area, which will have progress stopped or reset based on the player's action or lack of action. 7 here is one of those NPCs which you do need to defend in one of the future things. So why am I doing this? Well, many Static Line use video vlogs, such as Casual SABs to use 1701, and myself have done in the past, have often suggested a TFO to run. We've picked these most of the time because we think these are the fastest or the easiest to complete, and in this case, I've got a good reason for that. Recommend TFOs also ones that often are often very popular in any way because it can help you get going quickly. Some players may get fed up of playing the exact same TFO for what appears to be the entire event campaign that's full 3 or 4 weeks, so they might find out, right, go and do stuff that what the other TFOs are like. So I'm going to give you some terms that you might explain. I've mentioned a lot of time there's a timer. This section is actually based on a preset length of time with no real way to increase it or decrease it. And when this time expires, this will automatically progress to the next section. Pretty much easy to understand. Timer plus 5 final wave. This is basically this means that this section will last for about a preset length of time, and once that time is up, no more foes will appear, but you still need to defeat any remaining foes that are still present on the map or in the area to progress. In other words, time you don't have to do anything. You could not fight. You may not need to fight anything, but on the final 10+1 wave, you have to fight. Defend an NPC object. This is basically you need to. Enemies will be attacking an NPC object, and you will need to keep them healthy whilst they're working sitting in a certain place, without the enemies attacking them or interfering for a preset time. Failure to stop the foes will effectively stop or reset the progress for what's under attack. So yeah. Kill or interact with targets. But basically, some TFOs will only be able to progress after players have killed or interacted with certain targets. Please remember that sometimes I will say certain targets will mean a certain group of targets, not just a certain target. So that just to make it clear. So, what are the TFOs for the first contact day, and what do you need to do to get the stuff? So, the Battle of Wolf 359. If anyone's actually really good fan Star Trek Next Generation, will exactly know what this thing's about. So, it's basically you first task it to damage the bug cube, and this basically is to quote kill the bug defenses. Kill in this case is a bit weird because it's using that. Well, but it effectively it acts like that because mitigate the fleet losses again. This was a bit of a weird one. We believe is the official mention is take down the bug probes. However, we think this might be under a timer and effectively a final wave. During this time, there also is half a dozen different optional objectives. One of them is defending, well, at least four of the groups of ships. You got to interact to rescue some escape pods from those ships, and you need to kill quite a few other things as well. So it is very much busy work for you. And finally, fight off the bug and just basically knock the hull down to 50% of the bug cube. It's a bit weird to describe it as kill for this one, that's wrong, but I've managed, but the TFO when I was testing this for this video, it turned out to be about 10 minutes long. But this may be better with a decent space build, especially if you've got teammates who've also got these space builds and been in certain places to help out. So, Synthwave. This one's is set above Mars and well set around reason why it's considered this is basically set at the day before one of the 24th century's own First Contact Day holidays. So, but this and this is replicated is based on the events that happened in Star Trek Picard Season 1. There's flashbacks, so but basically you got 3 different time related stuff, which is basically rescue workers and basically 3 different waves. So it's basically one, the first takes 5 minutes, second takes 4 minutes, and the third takes 3 minutes. And again, this is pure timing. It's not, there's no, it just basically moves on to the next if you're ready or not. And you will, if you're not careful, you will get destroyed. And the final section is to defend the escaping ships. Yep. And that's basically defend most NPCs around the starbase at the time. This basically takes nearly 15 minutes just because you are spending good about 12 minutes just to get to the final section anyway. So as I recommend going for the area of effect heavy builds, such as we usually recommend a fire at will or scatter volley build if you can, if possible. One night in Bozeman. This is patrol, but patrols are occasionally used within these missions, in these TFO events. So a few times there will be camped for two patrols, two different. If you have to run through a patrol twice to get the progress for the day. So this time it's just one through the patrol. This one has multiple objectives, and ridiculous amounts of multiple objectives, believe it or not. But basically, kill bug drones, interact with several NPCs and several items within the world, and also some scanning. So a lot of interacts. And also defend 7-9 in the final section. As I said, these patrols are smaller missions that are intended for single player to complete. One night in Bozeman actually allows the players to bring the bridge officers, which you will bring in story missions as well. If you were to queue up for one night in Bozeman in the middle of if you have a team or semi-team built, players will replace your bridge officers. Other players will replace your bridge officers, and sometimes they'll bring one of their own. If they have multiple, if you have people, if you have another player with you. And final TFO I'm going to be covering model rocket ship building. This one's a pure timer one. I mean, quite literally pure timer. You basically start with a timer to build a rocket ship, and that takes 5 minutes. You collect all the parts for the rocket ship. It takes 5 minutes. You've got 30 seconds to get from wherever you are in the world to get to your workbench, and then you have a minute to when you're at the workbench to tweak it, and that. So that tweaking will get as a possibility to help you get better chances at winning this PvP TFO. And in the last 40 seconds, you actually launch your rocket ship and compared and see and actually get your results. And this is technically the only PvP TFO because it's not actually a PvP. It's more of a compete. It's a really weird one to say, and this is also unique in other ways. But believe it or not, this TFO is actually takes under 10 minutes. There is a creating a viable rocket and just prevent yourself from being marked away from keyboard and kicked out of the TFO is actually something you need to be aware of. However, the rocket building can be done. collecting the minimum parts for a rocket can be done within 2 minutes. And I should point out this is a minimum. There is a 0 combat TFO to the point where I've actually had to. Well, I didn't actually find any combat in the video I'm showing you. So, what's the big prize people were saying? Because we're going to be doing this for 2 or 3 weeks. So, this is the Intel Battle Cruiser, which is a Tier 6 ship. This is the second ship of the year, with the first ship being the anniversary event. This novel is based on some concept art that was remade for Star Trek Online over 15 years ago, 16 years ago now, and this is a alternate skin variant for the Sovereign class, which the Sovereign class itself is made famous by the Enterprise E. And because it's a skin variant to the ship itself are different builds, but you can make your ship look like the Enterprise E with a few things that you can't copy, such as the Enterprise name and 1701. But if you can make it look very close to the Enterprise E, and if you have the Lamar, you can also use that skin on this ship, or vice versa. You can use the Noble on the Lamar if you wish. The Lamar is known as is more famous for being the Voyager A from Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. That is the reason why a lot of people are considering this ship is because it has a 5-4 weapon and 3 aft weapon layout, and it's considered one of the better things for aggressive flying, which the quote assault cruiser should be using. So, a big question most people have got me saying, is it worth using? Yes, it certainly is worth using. I'll get into this to say. So, anyway, this is Mike's Holodeck. See you next time.